Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss trigonometry from pure mathematics 1. It is syllabus AS and A level mathematics 9709 from Cambridge. So let's discuss the topics. So here's the first topic, trigonometric ratios. Here we will be studying only sine theta, cos theta and tan theta. Sine theta is the ratio of opposite upon opposite and hypotenuse. Cos theta is the ratio of adjacent side upon and hypotenuse, and tan theta is the ratio of opposite and adjacent, which we can see it is only applicable in the right angle triangle. Next is trigonometric identities. In AS and E level, we have only these two identities, and the second identity gives another two identities, sub identity we can say, because sine square theta plus cos square theta is equivalent to 1 will give sine square theta as 1 minus cos square theta and cos square theta as 1 minus sine square theta. So it is very helpful if we want to convert the equation in only in the cos or only in the sine. So whenever we have cos square theta, we can convert it into sine square accordingly for sine square theta. And we know it is very well known identity, that is tan theta is sine theta over cos theta. Here are some values of sine theta, cos theta, tan theta for the angles, few specific angles like sine 0 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree and 90 degree. So from here we can see sine 0 is 0 and sine 90 is 1. So sine theta increases from 0 to 90. Similarly for cos theta we can see cos 0 is 1 and cos 90 is 0. So it decreases from 1 to 0. And tan theta also increase, because you can see tan 0 is 0, tan 45 is 1 and then tan 60 is root 3, that is 1.732, and the sin tan 90 is 1 over 0, that is not defined in mathematics. In this part we will be discussing exact values of trigonometric functions. Yet we have discussed for the sine, cos and tan for 0 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree specific values of angle. So now we can get the angle sine theta trigonometric ratios values for another few angles like 90, product of multiple of 90, 90 into 0, 90, 0 and 90 into 1 it is 90, and then till here and then till here and then till here, or any other multiple of 90 degree. If we take any point on the coordinate axis, it is of course containing x and y. So x is this distance, y is this distance. So if we take cos of theta, then it is based upon hypotenuse, so that is x. So cos theta is 1, cos theta is x. And when we take sine theta is opposite upon hypotenuse, so sine theta is y upon 1, that is y. So for any point on the unit circle, it will always represent p of cos theta comma sine theta. So theta is the angle which it makes, which that point makes if we join a point with the origin, the angle from the initial line make, that is called theta. So and tan theta is of course y by x, because tan theta is sine theta over cos theta. So in order to find the value of cos 90 and sine 90, this point P will reach here, and we know the coordinates of this point will be 0 comma 1. So cos of 90 degree is equal to 0 and sine of 90 degree it is 1. Similarly, if you want to find what is cos 270 and sine 270, so we only need to find the coordinates of this point on the unit circle, that is of course 0 comma minus 1. So 90, 180, 270, 360 or any other multiple of 90. For example, if it is 450 degree, then we know that in order to get to 450 degree, 360 and then 360 and plus 90 degree. So again you will reach here. So once you reach here, we know that what is the coordinate of this point, and then we can directly say that it is cos 450 degree and it is sine 450 degree. So sine 450 degree is 1, cos 450 degree is equal to 0. Now from here we'll be deciding what are the sign of the trigonometric ratios. So it defines as ASTC. We can remember it as add sugar to coffee. A is in the first quadrant, S is in the second quadrant, and T is in the third quadrant, and C is in the fourth quadrant. So A for all, S for sine, T for tan, and C for cos. So in first quadrant, that is the angle between 0 and 90, all the trigonometric ratios are going to be positive. And second means sine S. So in 90 to 180, 90 and 180 degree, sine and its reciprocal, that is of course not in the syllabus, that is cosec, both are positive, otherwise other trigonometric ratios will be negative. Similarly, in the third quadrant where it is T, here is the sine graph, y is equal to sine x is a periodic graph with the period 360 degree, because we can see after 360 degree it repeats itself. So here what we can notice, one more thing, for any particular value on y axis, that is sine of some angle, you will get so many angles corresponding to, for this values of y we have so many angles. So our task would be, like, in order to get the angles between some between given degree we will find how many solution can lie. Like from minus 360 to 0, if I'm saying I want to get this value, then what there would be two angles for which the sine will be same. So, and that is what we are going to use, that is sine of minus x will be minus sine x, sine 180 minus x is sine x, and sine 360 plus x is sine x. So it means it is a symmetric property. We can see it is symmetric along this. If you take the reflection, it would be same. It is symmetric property we call, and this is the periodic property, because after 360 degree it will repeat itself. Here's the graph of cosine function. It is again periodic, and here also we can see the period of the sine cos x also is also 360 degree. So again we can see for any fixed value on the y axis we will get so many so many angles for which the cos is going to be same. For example, for this value, for this value, and for this value and this value, we will be having the same cos value. So the question will be, if the question comes like how many solutions will lie between 0 to 360, let's say 360, for which cos is this value, let's take it as 3 by root 3 by 2, root 3 by 2, uh, it is root 3 by 2. So we can see that one value of angle will be this, another will be this one. There are so many other values of course, but it is not going to be in the range 0 to 360 degrees, so we will leave it. And in order to decide it, in order to get the next angle, first angle we will always get with the help of calculator, but for other angles we will use this property to get the next value. For example, first one is cos of minus x is cos x, cos 180 minus x, which we will not be using that much, but it is minus of cos x. Cos 360 minus x is cos x, that is symmetric property we can say, because if we draw the reflection of the cos curve from this 180 degree, it would be same. That's why it is called symmetric property. By symmetric property, cos of 360 minus x is cos x, and cos of 360 plus x is cos x, because the period of the cosine function is 360. Now similarly, the graph of tangent function, we can see the graph of tangent function, it is like that, and we can see that period is 180 degree. 180 degree, after 180 degree it is going to repeat itself, so again if you want to find for one value on y axis how many values will be there, there are going to be so many values of angle for which tan of that angle will be same. So again, in solution, first solution will always get with the help of calculator. For other solutions, for example this and this, that depends on what is the interval we are taking. For example, for this value of tan theta in 0 to 450 degree, how many angles you will get for which the tan theta is going to be same, that is going to be 1, 2, second one here, third one here. And how to decide it, you will get it from the third one only, because first two is just the property of it, that tan of minus x is minus tan x, we will be using it, tan of 90 plus x and minus times tan of 90 minus x are always going to be same. So the third property, which is periodic property, because it is 180 plus, because tangent, in the tangent the period of tan is 180 degrees. So tan of 180 plus x is tan x. This is again a wonderful thing about the trigonometry. Like if you understand this, there is this, your work will be very easy, what we have done just now from the graph of the trigonometric functions. So what does it mean? It means that if you have this angle as theta, this will be again theta because of vertical opposite angle. Again this is theta, so it will be theta. So it basically divides, it brings the trigonometric ratios of any angle, trigonometric ratios of any angle between 0 and 90 inclusively. It means it can include the 0 and 90 degree as well. So for example, suppose I want to find the tan 225 degree, tan 225 degree. So we know that tan 225 degree, 225 is more than 180 and less than 270, so it will lie in the third quadrant. And for example, I am taking this angle as 225 degree, complete angle is 225 degree. I'll write it here, 225 degree. But if we can somehow find this angle, which is of course we can find because this total angle is 180, so this remaining angle is going to be 180, 225 minus 180, that is 45 degree. So now we don't have to find the angle tan of 225 degree, we can directly find the angle value of tan 45 degree, and we can decide, since it is T in the third quadrant, tan is positive, so it would be positive, and it is going to be exactly same as tan 45 degree. Here's the trigonometric, inverse trigonometric functions. So in order to define the inverse function, since we know that this sine function is periodic, so if you are going to take the whole domain, then it will not be 1 1, and since it will not be 1 1, like we can check it from the horizontal line test, it will not be 1 1, so you cannot find the define the inverse of the sine. So that's why we are going to restrict the domain for sine x, that is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, for which range of the sine is of course going to be from minus 1 to 1. And we know that if you define the inverse function, so domain of the function will be range of the inverse function, and range of the function will be domain of the inverse function. So we can see the graph of this inverse of sine function will be like that, and domain is minus 1 to 1, and sine inverse is going to be in between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So it will be very helpful if you are going to decide whether sine x will take a value, some value, particular value or not. For example, suppose you got sine x is equal to minus 3, then you can directly say that this is not possible because sine x cannot take value beyond minus 1 and 1. Is that inverse trigonometric function for cos? Cos is, again we have restrict the domain from 0 to pi, because again you can see if you are taking minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, then it would be not 1 1, hence inverse function cannot be defined. So domain for this is going to be 0 to pi, and range is going to be again minus 1 to 1, and that's why the range domain of the inverse function of cos will be minus 1 to 1, and range of cos inverse x will be 0 to pi. So again it would be deciding whether cos x will take some value or not. And here is the last one, tan x. So for tan x, you can see it is from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. It is of course 1 1 function, so that's why it is inverse of this function is defined. So that's why we can get y is equal to tan inverse x, and the domain of course minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, and the range is, you can say range, you decide on the y axis, and you can see it is taking all the values of the y axis. So that's why range is tan x belongs to real number, and we can also say that it is going to be from minus infinity to infinity with the help of this bracket notation, and hence the domain for tan inverse x will be all real number, and range will be from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Composite functions. Composite function is from the initial function how you will get, or how can you define the different function given. For example, y is equal to sine x, it has a period 360 degree and range is -1 to 1. So there would be three types. One is when you have y is equal to a sine x, another is when y is equal to sine bx. We can similarly do for cos and tan also, but we are going to discuss only for sine here. So y is equal to sine bx, and the next one will be sine x plus c. Okay, the last one, fourth one will be sine x plus d. So these are the translation and stretching, translation and stretching, which we have done in the function chapter. Like what we are going to use, we are going to use f of ax, a times f of x plus minus a, or f of x plus minus a. So the first one is the type a of fx, so which is of course going to not affect the x axis, only it is going to affect the y axis. That's why the period is 360 still, and the range will be minus a to a, because it is the stretch, parallel to y axis with the factor a. It is a stretch of sine x function with factor a and parallel to y axis. So the range will be changed from -1 to 1, become minus a to a. And similarly for the next one, it is this type, and we know that in this case the factor is 1 upon a, and it is going to affect the x axis. That's why the period will be 360 by b, and we can define it as it is a stretch of y is equal to sine x with factor 1 over b, and it is parallel to x axis, and range will be same because it is not affecting the y axis. It is not affecting the y axis, so it will always be between -1 to 1. And the third one is y is equal to sine x plus c. So we can see it is of this type, and here it is a translation along the x axis, either positive x axis or negative. So we can see it is going to have a period 360 degree because you are translating the whole curve. So it is a translation of y is equal to sine x by minus c comma minus c0. It is a column vector which defines the horizontal transformation and the horizontal translation and the vertical translation. So there is no vertical translation, so that's why it is 0. So it is a translation of minus c0, and range will be the same because you are going to only translating along the x axis. Next is y is equal to sine x plus d, which is of course going to have the period as 360 degree because it is not going to affect the x axis. It is just a translation. So it is a translation of y. It is of this type, you can understand from here. Y is equal to fx plus a. So it is a translation of y is equal to sine x by 0b, column vector 0d, means horizontal translation. There is no horizontal translation. Vertical translation, it is d. If it is positive, it is going up. If it is negative, it would be going down. So the range will of course change from -1 to 1, -1 plus d, and 1 to 1 plus d. So let's have some questions related to this topic. So here is the question number 1. The acute angle x, acute angle means this angle is between 0 and 90 degree radians, so it is 0 and pi by 2, is such that tan x is equal to k, where k is a positive constant. Express in terms of k the tan pi minus x. Tan pi minus x, so I'll draw it and you'll understand what is the meaning of that. Suppose this angle is x, this angle is x, so this total angle is pi, so this angle will also be pi minus x. So we know that pi minus x is going to be in the second quadrant, and in the second quadrant tan is negative, so it is simply minus. And I told you, if you can get value this angle, then which is equivalent to the angle in the first quadrant, that is between 0 and 90 degree, then we can directly write it as tan of x with the minus sign. So it is going to be minus k because tan x is k. Once we got x in between 0 and 90 degree, or 0 to pi by 2, because it's in the radian, so it is minus k. And now we know this change, that tan pi by 2 minus x would be cot x. Similarly it was like for sine and cos also. Sine pi by 2 minus x is cos x, and cos pi by 2 minus x is sine x. This is simple complementary angles. So for the complementary angles, it changes from sine changes from sine to cos, cos changes from cos to sine, and tan changes from tan to cot. And we know that cot is 1 over tan x, and hence it is 1 over k. So now we need to find sine x. So first of all, we'll draw a right angle triangle for which this angle is, let's say, x, and if this angle is x, so tan x, since tan x is k, so we can take it as k directly if it is a unit. Suppose this is unit 1, so k, and it is perpendicular, opposite upon base, opposite upon adjacent, k upon 1. So by Pythagoras theorem it would be k square plus 1 or 1 square plus k. So from here we can get what is sine x. Sine x is going to be opposite upon hypotenuse, that is root of 1 plus k square. So I guess it is okay. Let's do the next question. Here's the question number 2. Show that the equation 2 sine x tan x plus 3 is equal to 0 can be expressed in this form, and hence solve the equation this is equal to 0. So this level we have only two identities, that is, one is tan x is equal to sine upon cos x, and the next one is c square, that is cos square plus sine square is equivalent to 1. So we are going to use these identities only if it is whichever is applicable. So we can see the first one is applicable here because it is tan x. So you will get 2 times sine x tan x. In place of tan x, I'll write sine x upon cos x plus 3 is equal to 0. So now we can write 2 times sine square x upon cos x plus 3 is equal to 0. Or now I have sine square x, and we can see there's cos square x. So I told you, whenever you want to convert from you want to express an equation in only sine or only cos, we are going to use this identity. Like sine square x, from here we can get as 1 minus cos square x. So we'll write 2 times 1 minus cos square x, and now at the same time we can multiply it by cos x everywhere to get rid of this denominator. So it would be 3 cos x is equal to 0. Or 2 times 1 into it is 2, 2 times this is 2 times cos square x plus 3 cos x is equal to 0. So or we can write it as, we can write send all the things to the right hand side, when we will get 2 cos square x minus 3 cos x minus 2 is equal to 0. So it is expressed in this form. Next is solve the equation. So once we know that this can be expressed in this form, so in order to solve this equation, we'll only solve this equation to get the value of x between 0 and 360 degree. So we are going to solve this, and we can see the multiplication, it is a quadratic in cos, so it is multiplication is 4, and subtraction, by subtraction we should get 3. So we are going to take 2 cos square x minus 4 cos x. I'm doing the splitting the middle term, and plus cos x minus 2 is equal to 0, because if you subtract minus 4, if you add minus 4x plus cos x, minus 4 cos x plus cos x, we will get minus 3 cos x. So that's correct. And minus 4 into 1 is minus 4, which is also correct. So we can simplify, we can write in the factorized form, and it would be this. So from here we can get cos of x will be either minus 1 by 2 or cos of x will be 2. But we know that range of cos is between minus 1 to 1, so it is not possible. We'll write not possible. So we only need to solve for cos x is equal to minus 1 by 2 between 0 and 360. It is given that x should be in between 0 and 360 degree including this 0 and 360 degree. So from here, first angle you will always get from the calculator, that is cos inverse of minus 1 by 2, and which is 120 degree, which is of course true, because in the 120 is in the second quadrant, and second quadrant cos is negative. So we can get it from here also. This angle we got it from calculator, and here it is negative, second quadrant. So if you want to find the other angle, we can only get the next angle in the third quadrant, because in the first and fourth quadrant cos is positive. So we don't have to do it, of course, but we can directly write that the next angle is going to be this, because it is 120. So this would be 60, this would also be 60, so it is going to be 240, 120 plus 120. But we will find with the help of the rules. We know for the other angles for cos we have 360, x is equal to 360 minus theta, so 360 minus 120, it is 240 degree. And for the next angle we have to use the periodic property, that is 360 plus the angle, but 360 plus 120 will be more than 360, so we will not take the next angle. So that's why the solution is going to be 120 and 240 degree. I hope it is clear. Here is the question number 3. Prove the identity 1 over sin theta minus 1 over tan theta whole square is equivalent to 1 minus cos theta upon 1 plus cos theta. Again, if you are going to prove the identity, there are only two identity in the AS level. First one is tan theta is sin over cos, and next is sin square plus cos square is 1. So we are going to use it. Left hand side will be 1 minus sin theta minus, I am using tan theta is sin over cos, so 1 upon tan theta would be cos theta over sin theta and whole square. This is going to be equivalent to sin theta common, and it is 1 minus cos theta whole square. And now I am going to distribute this power to the numerator and denominator. It would be 1 minus cos theta whole square, and next in denominator we'll get sin square theta. So we have to keep it in the mind what we are going to prove. 1 minus cos theta is already there in the numerator, so we only need to remove the square. So we know that it is cos sin square theta, so from sin square theta we have to convert it into the cos, because we have cos here. So we'll use the another identity, which is going to be 1 minus cos theta whole square. We will not do anything with this. Next is here it is 1 minus cos square theta, and 1 I can write it as 1 square, so it is same as a square minus b square. So this would be 1 minus cos theta whole square upon, in one bracket 1 minus cos theta, and in another bracket 1 plus cos theta. I have used the identity a square minus b square as a minus b and a plus b. So we can see this is going to be cancelled, one power only, not all. One power will be cancelled, and we'll be left with the things which we wanted to prove, that is 1 minus cos theta upon 1 plus cos theta. That is the right hand side, hence proved. So the next part is, hence solve the equation this is equal to 2 by 5 between 0 and 360. So we have proved that this is equivalent to the 1 minus cos theta upon 1 plus sin theta. So we will write in place of this as 1 minus cos theta upon 1 plus cos theta is equal to 2 upon 5, which when we will simplify, we will get this. And let's transfer the right hand side, this cos theta to the right hand side. So it become 3, I'll write 7 cos theta here, 7 cos theta is equal to 3, and hence theta is going to be cos inverse of 3 by 7. So again the first value will get it from the calculator, which is 64.623 and all, so it is 64.6 degree. And since it is a cos, and for cos we had 360 minus theta is equal to cos theta, and 360 plus theta is equal to cos theta. So we'll use 360 minus theta means minus previous angle to get the next angle. Next angle means theta only. The solution is theta, so we'll always write only theta. So the next angle is 360 minus 64.6, which is going to be 295.37. So it is going to be 295.4 degree. And the next angle we will get it from the 360 plus theta, so which is of course going to be more than 360, so we will not accept it. So the solution for this is equal to 64.6 degree and 295.4. So 295.4, in if you want to write till 3 significant figure, that also we can write 295, otherwise it is 295.4 degree till 1 decimal place. Here is the fourth question, which is the last question, and we will discuss the rest of the question in the next video. So question number 4 is solve the equation sine 2x is equal to 2 cos 2x for x between 0 and 180. So first of all, we can see the angles. Here the angle is 2x, and here the range domain of x is given between x between 0 and 180. So we'll write what is the range of x when it is 2x. So we'll decide from the very beginning, that is going to be 0 to 180 into 2, that is 360 degree. So now we'll simplify. Again, we have to use either sine, cos, tan solely, and we can see it is sine and cos both. So we can get tan from here because there is no square. If there would be some square, so we could have translated in either sine or cos, but here it is sine, cos both without any double power. So we'll be writing it as tan somehow. So we are going to divide by cos 2x both the side, and we will get tan of 2x is equal to 2, because if you divide by cos 2x, this cos 2x will be 1, so it is sin 2x upon cos 2x, that is tan 2x. So from here you will get tan 2x is equal to tan inverse of 2. And now we don't have to change this, you don't have to find the x in the very beginning. We are going to calculate the 2x, and then at the last, when we'll satisfy this relation, this inequality, that the angle, all the angle between 0 and 360 you got, then you will be writing the x value by dividing by 2. So 2x is going to be 63.4 from here, 63.434, so I write 63.4 degree only. And for the since it is a tan, so in the tan, the next angle you get it from the 180, that periodic property of the tangent, that is 180 plus previous angle, that is 63.4 degree. So it is going to be 243.4 degree, and the next angle again will be 180. So from here we'll get x value as the 63.4 divided by 2, that is 331.7 degree, and x is equal to 243.4 divided by 2, that is 121.7 degree. So the next angle we can see, if the next angle we are finding, then it is 180 plus 243.4, which is going to be of course more than 360. That's why we will not accept this. So the only solution for this equation is are 31.7 and 121.7 degree. So I hope it is clear. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much.